Hello and welcome back everybody to something that looks as though it is a splintered realm. Now in reality I can tell you that isn't the case. Effectively we have just taken on a very proactive status of co-monarchy. We are ruling and our son is ruling. Now the fact of course that our children have also pledged themselves to our son, it is an odd thing. We have been framed as the insane. We have been framed as somebody that isn't understood by anybody and that cannot understand anybody else either. Isolated more than ever before after our wife sadly passed away far too early. Of course, she drowned. Well, accidents do happen, or at least I have to believe that it is an accident. We have taken complete revenge against the Moroccans, at least from the point of view of Ré Roger the Insane. We are now indeed crushing their units. We are destroying them right here in our campaign for North Africa proper. And well, our son has been a good ruler. He is the one that probably understands us a little bit the most. Now, I was thinking, because this... honestly, our chapter is kind of over. What I mean to say here is that Ré Roger the Insane has been brought into a dead-end space, right? He is in a position where he can't really change the name that has been made for him in history, and with the people that of course recognize him as the King of Valencia. But at the end of the day, things aren't over yet. We are alive. Somehow, God decided that we would be on this earth longer than it was the pleasure to know our wife, of course. And simultaneously, there are yet things to be done. I was considering, abdicating. I was considering doing something drastic after his wife died. But he is still needed. He is still present. And I think what he wants to do is kind of do what he thinks his wife would have wanted him to do. This is one of those considerations that I think are quite realistic, that are quite something that he would make. He doesn't understand other people. He has always struggled with this, and he has ultimately failed. However, he understands that his wife wanted the best for his family, for his name, and for him. And even if he can't actually regain the attitude that people used to have towards him, that was respectful, that looked at him and said he has a future in this region, everybody has long since changed their eyes, averted their gaze from him, and turned towards Ré Jourdain, who seems to be an excellent king no matter what we can say. And I think he just kind of takes that on the nose. He doesn't want to, but he understands that his wife would ask him to. And so he will favor spreading the story of his father, ensuring that this goes further and further. Right now, he is even campaigning, of course, with his son. Once he returns, I mean, I would really love it if we maybe could even have a legend spread here in France. I would love to see the legend spread towards Sardinia, although this, of course, is quasi-impossible as of right now. Luckily, he likes us for one reason or another. Oh, it is entirely our court grandeur and indeed a double bonus from the Bells of Santiago. Listen, I will go with it. The idea is more, he wants to assist his son. He wants to spread the word of his father, of his own life, although again, surely his name will be forgotten to a certain degree. This guy was our rival, but not really for a good reason, so I'm going to skip over this. We are looking at this from an angle where we can't restore our own honor, but we can protect that of our house, much like our wife would have wanted it. And right here we are actually there. The wonderful tale of a mighty endeavor for Sicily, which is a stupid name. I would call it the Travels of Ré Jourdain. Continues to spread. More and more folk from all strata of society have begun to weave their own perspective into its rich tapestry. So says Hildegard at least. Lord and lady alike are certain such a tale sets out their undeniable right to rule, she muses. But if you wander into a local tavern, it will be rife with those who say it's dedicated to the common small folk of the land and their honest, industrious ways. What do we remember of the life of our father? I do want this to be a tale of the common people. Rather, he wants this to unify. Remember, we have, of course, the old dynasties, and some of them are even married here. We have him right here, Ilya Abd al-Ghafuris of the Abadi dynasty, married to Princess Munyadona. I will be giving him land eventually, I wager. But essentially where I am coming from is the angle he wants this to connect his dynasty the same way that the Abadites and the Amirites and the Dununites are connected in this region. He wants his family to be connected with it. So the small folk makes sense. He has, after all, uprooted essentially all of the noble families that used to live here. Let me just check this. So, okay, that's nice. Nothing wrong with this. Commoners celebrated. Man, this is just such a bad bonus. I'm going to say it is something... Oh, you know what? It is a tale about Jourdain. I'm actually going to go with this one then. Ultimately, we want a spread that goes far and wide in the name of our dynasty here. Clearly, it is a tale about Jourdain, you see. And we can run with that, I think. I think it is a tale for everybody. I mean, there's not really a way around it. I think I'm just going to keep sieging. This is a very... I don't know what the Almoravids were doing here. That is just foolish. Yeah, we would have literally missed the battle. Jesus, and there it is. The war is over. What a fast war indeed. I will make my way towards the northeast. My son has actually called me in, and of course I will assist him here. Algeciras has been taken, and outside of Toledo, and... oh, actually, outside of Toledo and Ishbilia... is this Ishbilia? No, it is Al-Manga, which is a very good name. Muslim control in Iberia is completely gone. It is utterly, utterly gone. Now, these children are a little bit too removed for me. I don't think that he would connect to them either. You know how he is. But essentially, peace has been brought to the Iberian Peninsula. The Reconquista has, well, occurred much, much faster than ever before. The Hauteville family that just keeps popping up here, threatening our family to besiege them. It is dire circumstances. I wish that they were no longer here. I can tell you that. I think during these times here, he tries to look towards foreign affairs focuses. He wants other people to understand his ways because he wants them to spread, of course, the message of his family. But yeah, so the way that I would describe his life right now is that he doesn't really have too many personal interests anymore. He cared for his wife. He kind of does care for his family, even if it is through proxy because of his wife caring for them. But the way I see it is, yeah, telling this tale and supporting his son. Those are the things that he wants to achieve here. Princess Marie of Valence is, yeah, going to be married indeed to Jamy. Duke Ulaim of the Rami, I think it is, right? Rami? Taifa. Okay, well, we can't integrate him right now, but I think that our son surely will have greater success there. We did just defeat the enemy here. I will just continue. I don't think this will be too big of an issue. Since we are now diplomacy focused, Rey Philippe II, I will send you a missive, and this missive will tell you a tale that you should support my case. We have a great story to tell. I could up this to 100%, but that is a lot of money. Come on, a simple letter and he refuses. That is a shame. What about you? Can we make this happen with you? 37%. I will try my luck. Just reach out across the Pyrenees. It is not like I will actually physically ever head there. Can't do it with you. The Dunonides, of course, I mean, it would be funny, but it wouldn't really make a lot of sense to have them promoted. And another legend promoter actually leaves. This was your ally Duch Blasco. He has passed away, huh? We now have a very, very young kind of companion here. Wait a minute. Shouldn't you... Weren't we running with a marriage here in Barcelona? Could have sworn. It's an interesting angle, and this is why I want to explore his rule, despite, of course, basically his primacy. You know, everything that he has achieved, the prime truly is over. I still want to explore it with him, because you don't ever get to see this. The twilight of a character virtually never comes along. You either go out in flames, or you die before your time, or maybe you just succeed, and then you are on the never-ending dream, I should say, the never-ending truck or train towards success here. That's not the case here. We are kind of alone. We are who we are, and nobody really is with us. It's an interesting thing. The throne room now so empty. Much, much emptier than it has ever been. That is depressing. It really, really is. Hildegard von Bingen still yet to be financed. I would love to do it, but I'm currently utilizing my money for something else, I suppose. Ah, man, what a wild time. It gives me an opportunity to look around. Obviously, he is in charge. He does have a friend. Oh, it is Navarra. So that has turned around entirely. His mother waged war against this very same king, Jacques the Old, right? And yet they are friends. I guess that trial and tribulations, they breed, you know, certain times of companionship. We do also have two people that he is educating. His own children, yeah, indeed. Very, very interesting. And one of his children, by the way, Hubert here, not in a good state. Consumption has found him. I hope that he will recover from this. Oh, he gave him Algeciras. That's interesting. That is very interesting, actually. Okay, cool. Interesting. Other than that, on the Iberian Peninsula, I mean, how are we actually doing when it comes to the struggle, right? Let's say we wanted to do dominance. How realistic is this? I'm independent, okay, hostility phase will come around eventually, who cares? We completely control a region of Iberia, obviously that is not happening. Okay, what about detente? The current struggle phase is conciliation, involved, exalted among men. I don't think any of this is going to happen. We could theoretically say maybe status quo, maybe that is indeed what will happen, because our actual attention isn't really that much on Iberia. Think about it this way, right? We come from a completely different location. We play no role in Iberia. Categorically, we understand the case of Iberia now, the way that these people live, but we also at the same time uprooted everybody. We have removed all of the Muslims in control. We left the Caliph here, but only so that he can service the common people that are still very much mass mubaladi in this region. Yeah, the way that I see it is we aren't really privy to the ins and outs. Yes, we are, and I assume that Rey Jourdain is much, much more than Rey Roger is, but ultimately we are looking at a very navally oriented dynasty. We might not end it at all, or we might go towards status quo. I am kind of looking back towards Sicily. Our wealth in Valence is of course coming from this direction as well. Trade, the production of the Tiras fabric, right? This is very, very important to our well-being. I'm not sure that our son is going to go into this direction, but I think our king here most certainly desires to. Neighboring ruler won a war. Yeah, you are well past your prime, at least, you know, compared. I guess we're all in our twilight era here. It's not good. Oh, it is Maimonides. He is such a cool character. Maimonides was a 12th century Jewish philosopher and scholar. He is best known for his Mishneh Torah, a codification of Jewish law and guide for the perplexed, which addresses the relationship between religion and philosophy. He is regarded as one of the most influential Jewish thinkers in history. Indeed, he is. I can only recommend looking up Maimonides. There is so much to be talked about in this context, but he is one of the defining forces for Jewish thought in this particular period here. Yeah, I definitely want him to serve me. And I suppose that is yet another man that really wants to write a book. Yeah, it is. Okay, I'm gonna be saving up a little bit of money. At the very least, I guess, I can further the arts here, right? That is a worthwhile thing to do. If I were to catch them, it would be grand, and oh, indeed we do. Okay, let's end this war as soon as possible. I would like to return yet again into my castle, into my city. Is really the only thing that we got going for ourselves. Mark of Distinction, the Sicily dynasty banner. Very, very nice, as it should be. That's really what it is. I don't really have anything else to say. As a family, we are rising. As a family, we are recognized. We are ruling these lands, and I don't think anybody is challenging us anymore. Aragon doesn't seem to have any internal rebellion, and look at this man. He has an unbelievable amount of troops. It's just us. Oh, and Hildegard is gone. It's just us, though. We are the ones that are not recognized. We are the ones that are looked at in an odd way. We don't even care really about state politics anymore. None of this is impacting us to all that of a meaningful degree anymore, because we know that we cannot restore what we would like to restore, our very own name. That went out the window the moment our wife went into that river. What a shame. What a shame that is. I suppose we do like to deal with the riffraff, with everything that is actually going on in our country here. My lord, I regret to inform you that the religious situation in my lands is out of control. I have tried to make my subjects see the light of our true faith, but too many of them persist in their wrong beliefs. I beg of you to use your authority and power to help me. This is the Al-Wadi Ashi. This is a part of Granada. Okay. It is an important county, although it is far from Valencia. I hold it for the strategic value, although honestly at this point we might actually hand it over. And I might well do this now that I think about it. Let me see. Crespi, see what you can do? No. This is okay. I think this is a you problem. I don't really care. And more importantly, you. I will be granting your husband to return the Abbadids, but as Christians, I will ask him to hold on to Granada. It is yours. You shall rule it, and I shall hope that you will be a good ruler. I think we are well past the point where he wants to take care of the politics in the south of Iberia, given that his son so competently has cleaned up Morocco from this particular region. These lands here, by the way, I would argue, obviously they are of interest, because the Straits of Gibraltar right here is incredibly important to our traffic of goods and commerce. But I think actually holding land here outside of these kind of coastal possessions, it seems very unlikely. I think at most we would take these three. Is this a... Oh, it is a coherent duchy. I might push into that, but not as him. He has different priorities. Anyway, the air thick with anticipation as my vassal Kunz Hamo approaches me. My lord, I come with grave news, but with a solution to fix this problem. It has become increasingly clear that the Al-Andalusian and Andalou are becoming more, perhaps even too similar. It is paramount that we show them that it's us, the Andalou, who are the forefront of innovation. He is dedicated to this idea. I must admit, I don't really care. Let's host a festival to celebrate our rich Andalou culture. I do like the idea here. Yeah, I want to turn Valence, of course, into a center of culture, so this makes sense. And then empty granaries. Before me stands Amguan Ciso of Jerez, his hands hung low. My lord, Jerez has been hit hard by the recent raiding and looting. The people are starving, our fields are not recovering, and our livestock is not enough to survive anymore. He lives in Cadiz, I see. It is of course a frontier location. Malish Commissar Matal Wahab lacks either the money or the will to help us. We beg you to intervene and to save our devoted subjects. Your devoted subjects. He bows deeply and falls silent. It is so far away, I'm afraid. It's not something that I truly care about. I could send Moses here, so Maimonides, to supervise the recovery of the county, but I don't want him to leave. A bad idea. I will grant you tax relief to get back up. You know what? Let's do it. Let's decentralize a little bit at the very least over there. Very nice. Who could I theoretically request? I believe we have it here somewhere, right? Yeah, and there you go. We have now converted Valence. I don't think I will proactively convert anything else. The person that cares about the religion is Ré Jordan. He is the one. Ah, that is true. That is very true. A secret exposed. He exposed that he has a bastard. Okay. Good for you, I suppose. You are a bishop, though, is the thing. You know, I guess... Maybe, actually. You know what? Let me double-check this. Are the Mozarabiques all about... Yeah, clerical marriage is disallowed, so they are leaning away from this as well. He is a sinner, both in Catholicism and Mozarabism, but it's not like anybody takes that all too seriously, given the state of the world, I suppose. What is our son doing here? He is, once more, heading up to France. He's participating, or he was participating in some type of event. Man, he is so good with people. It's admirable at the end of the day, right? There's some jealousy, I would guess, that he is feeling right now. Singers occupy the wooden dice, filling the night with music. As I take a sip of my mead, I close my eyes and allow myself a moment of rest. And now, all listen to the tale of Ré Jordan. The clamor of my courtiers fills the room. Sounds of cutlery banging on the table and raucous laughter. A doubtful thought haunts me, among the admiration of the court. Am I worthy? Oh, I definitely am not. I definitely am not. This suffering is not something that we commonly feel when it comes to these characters. There is still maybe a step forward here, right? To take down our enemies. The enemies that sit in Madrid, that still hold yet the Duchy of Toledo. Who is your ally, might I ask? Albarracin? I would love to crush you. You know what? I think cleaning up what is close by, what belongs directly to our kingdom, no matter how we look at it, it is a good idea. I shall rush forth and teach them a lesson here. In the caverns of the mind, darkness and cold dwell in the catacombs. What if I just stayed here in silence, the stone and me? An occasional rodent as my sole visitor. There's a calmness in that. This man is living the saddest life. It's actually breaking my heart. We have had so many instances in the past as we were role-playing, as we were considering the historical position of these characters. We've had instances, and pardon me for moving my microphone there, of characters being crushed by fortune and fate. But he is just lingering. It is oh so much worse than being crushed because it is so much slower. Your family has abandoned you, put you aside, remembering your name, likely only visiting whenever needed. Your kingship is no longer unquestioned. Ré Jordan of Aragon right here is ruling. This is his role and this is his power, and you in the meantime, you just sit in your city dreaming of building it up to greatness, but everything seems so still. Ré Roger, Commissaire Martel Wahab's figure appears around the corner. What are you doing down here? What a fateful encounter. I've traveled many days and nights to find you. Your legend, I must confess that it moved me. I aimlessly follow the corridors, unaware of my destination. Careless. Darkness upon darkness upon darkness. If I was worthy of this legend, I'd feel it, right? Perhaps. Perhaps. She could start promoting it because she was moved and she moved me. I cannot let my people down. Or Gomis Bulge can help me with the diplomatic details. No, this is actually the first person that has approached me now. My god. The Mozarabs, they look at us, at our family. They see my son and they see me, that I didn't act against him, that I didn't think following the Iberian rites was a loss. Are they the first ones that genuinely seem to care since my wife? I couldn't convert if I wanted to. It wouldn't be too radical a step. I do want to stress this. Catholicism is unbelievably weak when it came to the tale of the papacy, right? Everybody essentially runs the church as a tool inside of their realm to legitimize their rule rather than a unified approach. The Cathars to the north, of course, I mean, we know some of them. They aren't too far away. There are certain noblemen, even if actually, maybe there are no noblemen that are practicing this at all. Oh wow, it has been fully rooted out, hasn't it? Wow, okay, I take it back. The Cathars only believe it in the populace. The locals. Man, that is interesting. I think he might turn towards Mozarabism. I think he might not be the last Catholic ruler. I think he might be the end of Catholicism directly. That is a very, very interesting angle, I feel. Holy Fire, the Burning. Oh, I don't know how else to describe it, okay? Maybe I will survive this, but this event, just now as I looked at it and I said maybe he can at least find some people that recognize him, it seems that he is beset by illness. He isn't even in this location right here. He is leading the army now, but the illness followed him. He doesn't have a single moment of peace. Roger's body is afflicted by painful seizures, nausea, and diarrhea. The involuntary spasms make it look as if he was dancing. I'm willing to try whatever it takes. She also has it. We are lost. She is a wise woman. I think he's basically not conscious. He lies in a camp near Albarazin, and much like his wife perished unceremoniously, it appears that he will as well. Tigme told me that the task of interpreting scriptures is difficult work, but cleansing through fire is an art as old as the world itself. Little did I know she would have me walk over burning coals. My mind must have been altered, twisted by some dark trick. I would never have agreed to this willingly. The memories haunt me. Yeah, no, like I say, he actually didn't agree to this. He is writhing, struggling, trying to maybe see the light somewhere in his life, but it doesn't seem to be anywhere. He is simply lying on his bed. It doesn't matter what he said. None of it matters now. And while he dies in some camp deep in Iberia, the world moves on. Such are the accomplishments of Imperatore Alessandro that the Pope himself officially recognized his instrumental role in defense and promulgation of Catholic virtues. The Luca dynasty will be long remembered from its piety and zeal thanks to the impeccable conduct of this great man. And he, well, I'm not sure about this, but he is a paragon apparently. They are an example to us all. I just wanted to be recognized for my greatness. And instead, I die here, in Tarragona. At least from the way it seems. Yeah, the way it seems. Well, no, the way it is. Ré Roger of Valence rests in the arms of the Lord at 67 years of age. He died of old age. A conniving man, he will be long remembered for his pettiness and spite. Ré Jourdain ascends to the throne. Being both thrifty and frugal, the realm will surely prosper under his rule. 34 years. Cultural head, was dreaded, illustrious, paragon of virtue, diplomacy. He has fought in 22 wars, like a true member of this dynasty for sure. He went on a vacation, a coronation ceremony and a pilgrimage, and he attended one hunt during which he attempted to connect to his son, albeit of course unsuccessfully. We started with a strong, a powerful ruler. We skipped over, of course, a man who didn't deserve to be the king of Sicily. Then, Ré Jourdain led us into a good future, and Ré Roger did the same, although with great difficulty, and without ever being understood. Aragon, my friends, it has risen. It stands on the shoulders of giants that shall never be recognized. Never be recognized indeed. Oh my god, how do I have so many legend seats? Most valiant of Chevalier. Ré Jourdain of Aragon had a... Oh, apparently we also have a tale of a great warrior. But I don't think that is as important as a mighty endeavor for Cecile. I love, by the way, that Ré Jourdain here is animated. This is the closest we can get to ever seeing him alive again. That is very funny. Let's take stock of who we are, what we do, and what is going on in general. Ré Jourdain of Aragon, 32 years of age, grew up in the court, actually, in Saragossa. That is where he grew up. This land is his land. His mother reigned here. He guided, of course, the early beginning until he was called upon to be a co-monarch for his father. What is this realm that he now finds here? It most certainly is something that is, well, something he knows very well, right? He is the co-monarch. He has now, well, on his own, ruled much of what he actually inherited now, right? This has been a much, much longer rule than it is normal, or rather than we have taken over as, because he inherited not only his mother's realm, but also was elevated to co-monarch basically ages ago. He is Mozarab. He converted when his capital was Sevilla. He knows that region well. Oh, and he is converting Sevilla, so clearly he takes Mozarabism very seriously. He is in a different relationship. Oh, and Calatrava has long since been handed over to Murcia than anybody else. Prince Roger II, Mozarabic. Barcelona, still Catholic. Okay, I guess they are a child anyway, so he wouldn't really necessarily engage in this. Then we are in a position, Duchess Ophelia might accept it as well. I think he is quite interested in converting the realm. Let's take a look at this. He is an experienced traveler, yeah? He's a warlike courtier. He is irritable, a hunter, fortune builder, impatient, temperate, and ambitious. He also is very much still a Norman. He has not embraced his father's Andalou culture. He speaks Romance and Provençal. That's interesting, right? He has now his capital in Valence. And this has naturally snapped over to Valence, I guess, because I, of course, was the latest ruler. Would he be Andalou? Would he understand them? I think he would. He himself, and I think we have to, I want to kind of pull this back. He understands the world and the people in it a lot better than his father. When was the last time he spoke to his father anyway? Ré Roger the Insane, he ruled in Valence, but mostly isolated. It was one of the saddest endings. Only with a Mozarab woman actually paying him respects during this period. He has achieved so much, but even his son, his firstborn, knows that the expectations that people have with him, towards him, and so on, you can't really go into that direction all too well until you fully embrace it. Now, would he value Valence or would he value Saragossa more? Saragossa looks slightly worse when it comes to development, yeah. Valence is doing quite well, and I think he understands the benefits of possessing a strong navy like this one. If anything, because he is a Norman, he understands it better than his, any of his compatriots do. I think actually his brothers, my brother-in-law, excuse me? Oh, House of Barcelona. Right, I see. We are deeply interwoven. I remember, of course, we set this for the Duke of Barcelona, who has long since passed away. We are kind of related, to be honest with you, but alright, I might as well negotiate an alliance with you anyway. We don't want any war there. If we take a look at our realm, let's take a look at who we trust, right? On our council, we find Mayor Beatrice. We don't really care for her. Maybe I shall exchange her. There is the Caliph, which, these are the people that traditionally serve as the Marshal. Alright, we got Mallorca, and she hates our guts. The same way, of course, that, well, she hated our father, really. But she is talented, and she is at Hauteville, so we understand her. He's an Andalou. Very interesting. We're no longer relying on the mayor there. Oh, and that was the wrong appointment. Let me quickly shift this around. Actually, I would like her in that position. And then we shall take a look at the Chancellor. Ramon Berenguer de Castellet. We have a legend specifically speaking about this man. Ramon Berenguer. I think I may well put him into that position here. Although, I probably want to honor Comte Ilya Abdalgafouris of Granada. He is married to my family. And he is quite talented at this job as well. Interesting. Then right here, we are now, we're no longer converting culture. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Of course, I can't convert it. I'm not Andalou. So there goes that. How close would he be to Mozarab culture? Probably not all too much, right? It's just not that interesting of a culture as well, I will say. It doesn't really open up any new gaps. Let's take a gander here. Prince Roger, he stays exactly where he is. Mayor Mafalda, no. You're not staying where you are. I'm sorry. That is not happening. Teruel here, he is Andalou and the wrong religion. I will look into converting him here. Duchess Shimane can stay put, and I think that is about it. We have Atarit here now. 60 years left converting Sevilla. That is crazy. That is absolutely nuts. Mozarabism doesn't really want to convert too much. So these are the people that we trust. It's not many of them. Our spouse we feel neutral about. She is a good spouse. She has gifted us many children. And I think our cooperation here is quite decent. But it is nothing related to our father and our mother, of course. Eric Jacques the Old of Navarra is a friend. Very interesting. And then we had, who was the other friend? Vivianus. My friend and somebody's personal court physician. I would ask you to come to my court, please. I don't know how I know you. This happened in 1155, just a year ago, but I will have you as close as I can. Now that I rule the entirety of Aragon and Valence, I can finally assert my will onto the region as I should have done it ages ago already. Now, he is also good into management. He went down the architect tree. I really do like this, but I see a different future. Much like I already detailed it, of course, with his father, it is his duty to lead in war whenever necessary, and I think he sees value in this. He is a Mozarab, and yes, he has taken over, but there are many Christians in this region that are against his Mozarabism. Not to mention, of course, he is looking at a house that views him as an enemy. Oh, this house gained a reputation of being dominated. Yeah, look at that. They still hate them, of course. It has calmed down, but they have been dominated by House Cecile, and he needs to be prepared. More importantly, as a Mozarab, he would know the importance of Toledo. When we take a look at this, what can we do with him? What are our options? We could break with Rome. That is an option. I would have to be a paragon of virtue, and I must hold at least 12 same faith counties. That seems unlikely. I would like to convene the Council of Toledo. I need to be Mozarab. 3 of my vassals that are powerful must be Mozarab as well, and I have to hold Tulia Tuya, and the holder of Tulia Tuya needs to be Mozarab as well. This leads me to him right here, Duke Ulaim of the Khame Taifa. If I could convince him, and he is a murderer, doesn't make me dislike him apparently, but he is a murderer. If I could convince him, he killed his, what, sister? Oh yeah, Jesus. If I could convince him to become my vassal, I could lead Mozarabism into a new future, without needing to wage too much war here. Now, the Dunonides, I'm not nearly as invested or hostile towards them as my father was. I understand that that is just politics for me now at this point, but they are thorn in my side. Madrid, Ucles, they would open up Tuya Tuya to me if he were unwilling to hand it over to us. Okay, so the way I see this, Ré Jourdain is very interested in spreading what his mother protected. He loved his mother. His father was a difficult man, but he overcame him. That is how I think Jourdain remembers Roger the Insane. He wants to protect the work of his family, the work of his mother. And to do this, I will hold on to Zaragoza. I will change, in reality, into being Valence on a primary level right here. Sadly, by the way, by doing this, we come only into High Crown Authority. We were downgraded because he was on High Crown Authority when he inherited it, because it's not tracked, you know, like per title. I will have this unification, essentially, between my kingdom and Aragon. No longer are we under Aragon. We are unified as one, quite literally, right? It has now occurred. The color of Aragon is kind of more pleasant, but we're going to go with this for the time being. And his ambition now, I think, at least to me, is pretty clear. Oh, that's a nice one. We do have a famed journal as well. Gives some nice bonuses, but I like the memory of my grandfather, I suppose. Nothing else in here, at least not too much. We did, of course, just inherit quite a bit. What can we put here? We could put in... wait, what? I can't put you here? All of these? Oh my god. We aren't Catholic anymore. Well, alright. I am letting go of these artifacts. They do not matter to him in any way whatsoever. We are Mozarab. We value the bells of Santiago. They are everything to us. Let me take a look at this. We are getting the full bonus from them, right? Yeah, we are. Is the bonus actually specific, by the way, to being Mozarab or... yeah, okay, I see. Beautiful. I will tell you this right now. He wants to have a legacy for what he recognizes as his people. The Andalou are much closer to him than the Mozarab, of course, and he may turn towards the Andalou. They aren't that different from the Normans at the end of the day, but he mostly cares about the religion. I will go ahead and now actually, for the very first time in ages, have an incredibly strong religious decision here. I am going to do whatever I can to turn as many people as I humanly can to the correct faith. This is deeply important. Winebald de Quincy, rule the territory there. I do not care for the culture up there, I care for the right religion. Walid, you may rule in my stead in Subraba. Beautiful, okay. Let's take a look at this, by the way. Saragosse, we have the Aljaferia now, a great palace, a fortress built on the Sarria plain. The Aljaferia is a testament to the power and wealth of Saragossa, imposing in splendid in equal measure. It is both an intimidating fortification and a pinnacle of Iberian architecture. Of course it is. Do we have currently troops mustered? We don't? Oh my god, and yet we are losing money. That is actually vile. That is awful. Okay. We could found a holy order, but I don't think that he is too interested in this. Do the Catholic ones? Oh, they don't count for us. Oh, that's interesting. No, I'm gonna leave it where it is for the time being. Essentially what I'm saying is, he sees the legacy of his father, and as foreign as they were to one another, he's going to continue it, but in his very own way. Welcome, by the way, my friend. You have converted. You have given me an alliance, and maybe with this alliance, why do you dislike me so, by the way? Temperate, impatient, high levy contribution. Would you like to convert? You are already an ally, of course. We are related at the end of the day. Yeah, sure. I will owe you a favor. The religion is much more important than any temporal promise that I could make. I would ask you, I would ask all of you, to become Mozarabiques. And Duchess Ophelia has disagreed. The Lady of Granada does not see it that way. Yeah, I will convert the Duchess of Mallorca as well. That is fine. How do you not have a child yet, by the way? So let's see. Essentially, I want to become the head of the Mozarab faith. I believe that he genuinely believes in this direction as well. And then, well, we can look towards the east. I want to, of course, assert the influence over what makes us rich, which is very much the trade routes here in the Mediterranean. Let's see whether Eric Jacques is willing to spread my legend. I'm not going to give him any money just because we are friends. You know, thank you for doing that, my friend. How about you? So he's unwilling to do this and he won't be willing ever to do it. Okay. Toledo, again, we don't hold a personal grudge like this, although they have wronged us time and time again. That shouldn't be surprising to anybody. This war was interrupted. I was waging it, of course. How are you doing? You have a 0%, 26%. I don't think it's good enough. We are going to spread that legend, and before we do anything else, I already unpaused a little bit, of course. We did convert now a whole bunch of people to Mozarabism. Let me double check with my children. How are they doing? Prince Jourdain of Valence is being educated by myself. That is very good. Who is the other one that I'm educating? Hubert. Okay, there you go. So these two children are essentially the ones that we are bringing up. And then we have Aubry here. He is 6 years old, being educated by his mother. Oh, okay, we're taking care of the family. Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense indeed. He is compassionate, stubborn, and pensive. It wouldn't surprise me if Rejordan II, and he's already locked into learning, I'm not going to change it, if he made him come up in learning so that he can understand the message, of course, of Mozarabism. Man, he really goes into that direction. He isn't outwardly, you know, extremely religious from the looks of it at the very least. Oh, who are you attacking? Toledo! You know, as you do that, I could bring them under tribute, but you know what, that's not really what I want here. Yeah, they're going for a clash. We have, for some reason, negative prestige. Honestly, I couldn't tell you why that is the case. I could, of course, create more kingdoms here. The Duchy of Aragon. Oh, and that reminds me, actually. We're going to splinter, aren't we? Oh my, we are going to splinter, yeah. Okay. Zaragoza is going to, of course, be heading to Hubert. And Jourdan here will be getting Valence. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Oh, and you know what I'm noticing here as well? We don't actually have the uncrowned modifier. I guess because he was elevated into a co-monarch position that wasn't necessary. I guess we can assume he was crowned. It just wasn't like the literal event that we get from that mod that we're using. That's okay. I think contextually that makes perfect sense. Oh, and my wife has become a scholar. Oh yeah, she is very smart. Maybe she should be bringing up our primary son right here. They're actually both learning oriented. I guess all the investments that our father has done and all the prosperity that naturally attracts, of course, talent and intelligent people, it is kind of paying off. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I'm not gonna say no to that possibility there, although I should surely be building this up quite a bit more as well. Yeah, let's just get some, a couple more taxes here. I want this coastline to be important and to be treated as important. We hold this province right there as well. I'm not sure that that is a worthwhile province to hold. We have Jaon, of course, and Sevilla. I would like to hold on to Sevilla. The rest we might kind of throw around as we see fit. Alternative reading. In a dusty corner of the library, I find a tome, bound in leather and inscribed with strange symbols, partially hidden behind other books. It is old, but has clearly seen some recent use. As I leaf through it, I quickly come to the realization that it deals with some unconventional knowledge. Focused reading. Or heresy. You know what? I don't think he's too much into reading. He's just going to call heresy. He wants a certain orthodoxy now in his realm. You know what? I mean, 69 years. We're never converting this until I make this into a less accepting faith. You know what? I actually wonder, how do we get this man to become my vassal? De jure he is not ours. De jure he will never be ours because Lusitania, of course, is in a separate space right there. I think I will be very pragmatic about it then. We're going to start out our reign here, not just by spreading the legend, which is important. And you can see that it is doing a fine job all around. Although, I wish we could get him involved there as well. I am going to move against Albarracin. We're going to move against them. I want to make my way to Toledo. That is what we're doing here. And then, ideally, I would love to sway him. You know what? Why don't I learn your language? It is Mozarab, right? So, ultimately, his language is the language that is quite close to mine, and simultaneously, of course, is vital if we want to pacify these lands. More myth than legend. A word, my lord. Friend Vivianus approaches me, a worried look on his face. It is about the legend. Caliph Marwan has been heard doubting him. The court gossip has started to echo him. If you don't stop it in time, I'm afraid every peasant in this realm will believe it a lie. Ha! So you are acting against me now. Is that so? That is curious, I will say. That pesky cur. My word is stronger than his, or let them talk. That pesky cur for sure. How dare he disrespect the future of this realm and the history of my family like this? The epidemic seems over. I will, of course, do something about it. I gladly will invest the money if it makes this better. Ooh. Siegfried. Bavaria has a king, it seems. Could we make it there? Oh, yeah, I could make it there. It is far away. You know, we like France. I think that is close enough. I think Bavaria is a little bit too far. What is this? Caliph Marwan II? My precious romance notes are scattered all over my study, and the ink-soaked raven is still flapping its wings all over. How did it even get in here? Who covered it in ink? A letter for you, Mairi. I turn around and snatch the message out of the servant's hand. A real shame what happened to your notes. But look on the bright side. Your writing was already similar to crow's feet. Regards, Caliph Marwan. You know, this is a childish event. I will say that. I do think it is a very childish event. An odd event. However, and I do mean this sincerely, the Caliph didn't see a threat in our father, because our father didn't actually care about the religion of his servants. We do. We are interested in Mozarabism. We have converted so many, he is going down. Caliph Marwan II Ibn Abu al-Kazim of the Emirate. Your time is over. That is what it is. Your time in Cordoba that was afforded to you by my father, that's done. I think it is pretty clear to me that he is on a downward spiral, and I will be making that happen. The last Mubaladi Caliph will perish. Oh, and look who is assisting her. Yeah, she didn't convert. They are both seeing where the wind is coming from, and you know what? I don't have a problem with this. This is a rebellion that makes sense, in a context at the very least. I'm going to crush them. Obviously, we're going to lose a lot of money here. What kind of allies do we have, by the way? Yeah, okay. I mean, it's a strong ally. Don't want to call them in, however. Man, I need to start having like a really, really big kind of backlog of money. It's very odd. What is this? Today I met a fine nobleman by the name of Walter St. Clair. He's a pilgrim who recently traveled the way of St. James to Santiago and is now going back. However, for various reasons, Walter says he is reluctant to return to his old home and is considering staying here, as he finds the region charming. It isn't rare for pilgrims to settle down in foreign lands after traveling to Santiago after all. Perhaps I could be gracious enough to invite him to join my court. It would be good to have the perspective of someone from afar around here, especially someone who has gone on such a famed pilgrimage. Then again, I don't know much about Walter, at least not yet, so I'm not sure if it's worth it. All we need to do here ultimately is wage this war quickly, and I shall be waging it myself. I am interested in it, because if I am to be a leader, if we are going to erect Mozarabism as an independent right from Catholicism. So that's basically, I think, where he comes from. Historically, of course, that never went into that direction because the power of the Catholic Church became ever more greater, you know, as essentially the centuries moved on here. But that isn't the case in this timeline. The Pontifex is not in a good position. So I am seeking independence, and I think showing the people here that I'm worthy of the cause, that I can crush my opponents, very, very important, yeah. Oh, and this is happening while I am outside, and that's actually quite interesting, because of course as we change Mozarabism, it will be taking a different form. Two intellectuals named Herbert and Stefan have arrived at my court. We were looking forward to this occasion as they are prominent in local circles for their wildly divergent but interesting interpretations of the scriptures and other theological matters. They are bitter rivals and seek to prove the other wrong in a public debate, and I and the rest of my court would be spectators. Herbert is known as a staunch traditionalist who defends the classical understanding of our faith. Stefan, by contrast, is a maverick and rebel. Though he does not hold any heretical views, it's clear he has rather innovative interpretations of Mozarabic theology. In their lively discussion, both scholars proved quite adept at arguing, counter-arguing, counter-arguing, and so on. My Archbishop Atarit appears to support Herbert, as he tells me. He defended the orthodox understanding of Mozarabism. Stefan is no heretic, but skirts too close to heresy for comfort. Okay. I guess I like Stefan more, actually. Although, it's all in the neutral area here. Herbert made the better arguments. If I were to do this, he would stay. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so he is a scholar, and he is indeed a theologian. Gregarious, temperate, trusting, diligent, and callous. Neither of them convinced me, but it was an interesting debate. You know, I think he is unconvinced. These are thinkers. Wait, and what is this? Coveted claim. Berthomé, my chevalier, frets all through the day, evidently attempting to find the right words. My liege, they say Kunz Tedbald, your cousin, takes his purported claim on your lands more seriously each day. He maintains he is personally wronged by your continued rule of his rightful domain, Valence in particular. Do you remember how I talked about him, how he had one of the worst destinies yet in this family? Overlooked, mistreated, converted over time and time again. What a venomous swine. He would not accept this. He is impatient, he is ambitious. Not worthy of my attention, surely, but, well, I suppose he deserved his destiny, given that he seems to be quite evil. And as we are sieging Cordoba, I essentially want to take it just as a symbol of the destruction that I am to bring here. They seem to be separate. Granada is not in a good space, which is decent enough for me. This is a liberty war that is led by a Catholic Andalou as well. They are going for Valence, it seems, but I reckon they will be far too late. The Caliph doesn't even challenge me to a fight. That is humiliating. And you have written... you've written a poem. And hope only for memory's grace that their history finds a true place. Poetry about legacy. Yeah, we've been obsessed with legacy, man. That is one of these themes for this particular family. We have been obsessed with the legacy, and so far it hasn't been working out for the people participating in that obsession. I really have to say that our father was mistreated. Are you actually going around? Oh, yeah, okay, this is how you reached Valence. It only takes you 11 months. I mean, come on. Yeah, I'm gonna crush the Caliph, and obviously, you know, she is insubordinate. She has to go as well. Probably just gonna banish her. Don't really want her blood on my hands. Oh, this didn't end the war? Okay. Well, then we fight in Valence. The people of Valence shall see my power. We made a lot of money from this occupation. Cordoba is, of course, an incredibly wealthy town. Oh, and they have level 2 terrace workshops here. That's insane. We have these 3 highlights here. Let me actually double check this, right? What is the economic position of this peninsula? So we have Valence. Okay, it's at 17. You are at 36. 17 is very average. Look at this here. We got Braganza also at 18. La Coruña. Santiago, I'm in a terrible state. Yeah, okay. So basically we have Cordoba still and Tuya. Those are the 2 that are massively, massively important. And taking over Cordoba, it will send a sign, a ripple through, I think, this place, that we are looking at something that is a little bit bigger than just Valence and Aragon. These 2 are having a conflict. This is a classic, a very standard event. I prefer Prince Roger II of Valence, so obviously we're going to go with his plans here. Army movement speed and enemy defensive advantage minus 25%. I do need the offensive here because I am on the... Oh no, I'm actually defending once we come in there. Yeah, sure. Let me be faster and let me destroy them. Oh, and of course they flee. I mean, how else could it be? Whatever, man. Alright, come on, man. Oh, and we shall find out whether Anselperga will support our story, the story of how we are the rulers of Eastern Iberia. A legacy that is handed down, of course, by an angel that told us that this is our destiny. I could threaten her. Now, he doesn't see her as an enemy. I don't think he wants to threaten her. Obviously, this increases our opportunity here, but no. You know what? If you want to promote it, then you do. Okay, we are on good terms. Regina Anselperga. Very, very nice. You love to see it. And our second-born, Hugbert here, is, Hubert, I suppose. He is becoming gluttonous. He buried his face in his food, and the only talking he did was asking for serving after serving. That is the opposite of what I see as good. No. If it was a chore, then you should simply have left. That is right. What you were doing there is just, ridiculous. I do not support it. Oh, and I have actually imprisoned Duchess Ophelia of Granada here. And that is very, very funny, because... technically, we aren't currently capitulating them because there are 2 rebels and we have only occupied 1. The moment she stops being in this position, however, yeah, I will banish her. And logically, we are now at 100% because there is no other rebel. Ophelia, seek your luck elsewhere. I will let you go, I will not kill you. But the Caliph, I'm going to take Cordoba, and the moment I do, he stops being the Caliph, and I think it would be more humiliating for the Muwaladi without crossing all of the people in my realm that are Muwaladi. If I let him go, I will send him away. I won't even sell him, even if I could, just for the record. I will send him away, having renounced his faith. He can keep his claims. I am not concerned by it at all. Look at him. There he is. The swine, pig, the foul creature that rules Valence in our stead. Or maybe it shouldn't be us who rules. At the very least, it most certainly shouldn't be him. Rejardin II, a Mozarab who has ruled in the south and has since taken over not just, of course, Catalonia, but also Valence and Andalusia. Well, he is the ruler of all Eastern Iberia now, and he has just taken apart the very last of the Muwaladi. The Caliph has not only been displaced, he has been converted, humiliated, in the eyes of all those that were still following the faith. We have something that I would call a little bit more than just a difficult relationship with him. We hate him. Rejardin II is not just our cousin, he's our rival. My friends, I am switching characters. The legacy that we have of course left behind in Valence is a strong one, it is a stable one, and there's something that is much more interesting that I would like to expand on. I want to understand Queen's Tedbald right here, the forgotten, the disrespected, and most certainly indeed the son of Prince William. William here was a drunkard, he was not on the best of terms with Ré Roger the Insane, and yet he never spoke too ill of him, until, of course, under Ré Roger the Insane right here. It was the Duke of Valence at the time, Talha Amirit, who tortured our father to death. Talha himself, of course, died in captivity in 1144, not too long after, thanks to the hatred, thanks to the animosity that stemmed from our uncle. But realistically speaking, Queen's Tedbald here, well, he has stronger feelings about this. He takes a look now as the legacy that remains for him. What does he hold? What does he have? Alarcon is effectively nothing. It is almost as useless as the steppe, and what's more, we are of course under Roger II of Valence. He dares put one of our cousins above us, rather than give us the land that should have been ours, that indeed historically was actually in the possession of our father. We could go on. I want to switch perspective here, at least a little bit, for this very last chapter of this playthrough, because I think we have seen a lot when it came to the family of the de Sicile, but also, of course, the family of the Hautevilles. We have seen people fight over land. We have seen this very same pattern right here in Sicily, of course, when our, at this point, quite far away descendants, Duke Roger Bosso, our great-grandfather, was standing up to his brother and former good friend, Robert the Fox. When they were infighting, it was a question of land, of who should rule, of what is right and wrong, and where does the justification of land ownership come from? Is it the Holy Roman Empire, our own grace, or is it the Pope? Here, things are different. It is an angle that we haven't pursued like this. The angle that Jourdan II has, I think I established quite well in the rest of this episode until this point, but now it is time that we take something much more personal. Prince Tedbald of Alarcon is the son of deceased Prince William. I think that Tedbald, despite of course William being killed and then avenged by Roi Roger the Insane, well, I think he does blame Roger the Insane, and he does blame Jourdan II for denying him what he views as his birthright. And so we have something personal. Frankly, yes, he has a claim on Valence, he has a claim on Mallorca, on all of these titles, but he doesn't inherently care about them. What he does care about is vengeance. Jourdan II, a nemesis, well, he needs to get what is coming for him, and that, my friends, is our mission. I like this angle because the perspective that we have of Jourdan II was something very internal. We played him, we played his father, we understand his intentions, we underwent the entire process there of how he came to revoke the Muwaladi ownership of these lands in the south, and now we're no longer looking at him from that perspective. Prince Tedbald is looking at him from a perspective of not understanding, of not being willing to understand. This is an irritable man, an impatient man that is so ambitious that he would walk over the dead bodies of his own family, including his own father. Roger the Insane had many faults, and one of them was most certainly what caused the death of our father. But Jourdan II, well, he has no excuses. He is not an oddball, he is not weird, he is not eccentric. He simply does what he wants to do for his very own ambitions. And so I am excited that we play an equally ambitious, cynical, and chaste man. There is something interesting about this man, by the way. He has become a reclusive, a flagellant. Let's take a look at his relationships. He has one friend, and that is our mother, an Abadite. Quite interesting indeed. We are a product of this land, much, much more than he ever could be. Yes, he is of course a product of House Aragon, but we are a product of the south right here. And maybe, and I'm not so certain, maybe it is because he is a cynical man who wants to hold on to his ambitions, and he sees this as a potential justification. Of course, the history of the Abadites here playing a role as well. Or maybe he genuinely believes in something that is kind of keeping him going. Let's take a look at this. We are practicing Muwaladism in secret. My friends, this right here is incredible. What we have is a tale and a man who's holding on to a story that seems to already have been completely resolved and annihilated in just the last few episodes since we arrived in Valence. This man wants nothing more than revenge, but he's a very, very interesting man indeed. So I hope you get the drift. I hope that you understand where I am going with this, because I am very excited. This is a different angle. What we kind of looked at as good and just and fair, well, now we most certainly don't see it that way. We're going to go ahead and see what we can do. Now, before I jumped into him, he was actually claiming the throne of Prince Roger, which honestly I can't quite understand. What am I claiming here? Because I already have a claim on Murcia, do I not? Is this not? Yeah, there it is. The Grand Claim on Murcia. Let me take a look at this. I have a faction to install myself on the Murcian throne. I don't have any allies. I am not married indeed, and I don't think that he is looking forward to being married because... or maybe he is actually. If we could find a good alliance, he most certainly would like to rise up against the enemies here, because, well, getting this land might mean that we could rise up against our cousin. I am not sure what I'm going to do here. You know, there is an interesting thought experiment that we could do. We could try to push this. We could try to establish ourselves as the Lord. What are we specialized in? We are martial. We are still very young, of course, only 25 years old. We have plenty of story to tell with this character, I think. Yeah, we're going to go deeper into this direction. Strategy focus, I think, is the right approach to this. How do we proceed? What do we do against Murcia, against the Mozarabiks? He most certainly, of course, has the blessing of his brother. They are not friends or anything. Oh, and I am his regent. Wait a minute. I am Prince Roger's entrenched regent. That is interesting. He could end it, I guess, but if I were to swing this, you know what, we haven't really interacted with as much. I do like that idea. Quite frankly, I am a very adequate, if not better character when it comes to my skill set here. How much he is aware that he is pretty good, I mean, I'm not certain. He's a good adversary. I mean, I will say that he's highly intelligent. We don't really have that intelligence. Maybe we are a little bit more stubborn. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna swing the scales right here. My idea here is, if I were to manage to rise up in Murcia, even if it takes crime, if it takes betrayal, whatever it takes, I will do it. It must be done. So what we're going to do first is we are going to leverage up piety. I'm going to try and push this a little bit further. I want to push this as much as I can. I hope that he cannot or won't end it anytime soon. I don't know what he's doing. I don't think he's doing much right now. This seems like a complete waste. I already have a claim on this. Do I not? I'm going to abandon this. That's okay. We already have a claim on this. We are also trying to sway Avesc Crespi right there. That's interesting. It's a troubled relationship, and he is the heir. I suppose that we are trying to get the approval of the church, even though we don't really believe in this. The way I would treat, by the way, a secret faith, you know, while we're at it, I am currently being a little bit vague on it, and on purpose. What I want to do with Tedbald, I'm not certain of myself. This is going to be improvisation heavy, okay? The idea is, he either has this faith, and it is something that goes beyond his cynicism, or he is keeping it because he knows that he can be, or could be construed as a somewhat legitimate heir, of course, to, well, everything going on with the Abbadids. And the Abbadid family was, of course, a massively important family in this region. Take a look at this. We have Emir Muhammad of Ishbilia. In 990 he was born, and they have had Ishbilia, so this territory down here, for such a long time. If we were to be Muwaladi, well, maybe there could be a popular uprising that we could utilize as well. So I'm not sure where this is going to go. I just like the idea of having it. We could also become an adventurer, but I don't really think, you know, with the opportunities that he has, think about it this way, he has legitimacy in these lands. He wants to at first try to employ this legitimacy and kind of push everything in his favor, because he wants to harm his enemy. That is exactly what he wants to do. We're not going to challenge him to a fight. He clearly is superior to us. We're not going to deal with this. Is there any other interaction that I should keep in mind? I don't think so. We're not going to adopt his faith. Right now, we're going to play nice with the Catholic Church, because he most certainly isn't. But yeah, so that is the idea that I have for this. Now, it should be said that we are also at the brink of what could be a terrible time, because we are flagellant, we are reclusive, we are most certainly not normal. Not in the same way as our uncle Ré Roger the Insane. No, we are quite decent, but we grew up at the end of the day in a broken home. Our mother loves us and we love our mother, but our father, yeah, he was a troubled man. And so, of course, were the people that tortured him. Whether we can leave all of that in the past, we shall find out. For the time being, I'm just going to go ahead. I can't possibly... Where was the button? Oh, there it is. Attempt to overthrow my liege. If I were to organize a conspiracy, I would need more prestige. I would need to swing the scales of power a considerable amount. I'm not sure that I can do this. I think we are looking at trying to make this happen via affection, although rising up out in the open. But for Rejardin II, it could be a provocation. I gotta tell you, I like this perspective. He wants me on his council as a marshal, huh? I will accept. Certainly, I will accept. Why not? For the time being, this does give me a couple of benefits right there. Is there anything? Obviously, we don't have any children. He is not too eager for a woman either. I think he is indeed a chaste man right there. Would he be paranoid? I think he would be intelligent enough to be somewhat paranoid, knowing that, of course, Rejardin II is a tyrant. He just revoked the title of the Caliph. I think I'm going to go ahead and... Could there be a personal champion that I could employ right here? We have a Tahirit, okay, we have an Avenel. I do like him. He's Mozarab, though. At the very least, I suppose he isn't exactly the wrong, you know, kind of religion. He is Catholic still, despite being culturally Mozarab. I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to employ Gundwil Avenel. He is Mubaladi. I personally don't trust him, but I have some pressure points on him because he is a known criminal, making it so that I can potentially imprison him if I wanted to. So he knows that his life is indeed in my hands. We're going to employ him as our personal champion, and then we're going to have Tahirit. He is Catholic. Yep, that is a good mix here as our bodyguard. I like that as well. We need to live safe and secure. All right. Another interesting thing, actually, besides, of course, his personal history with his father, Prince William, who was always trying to connect to both Jourdan and indeed Roger here, I will say that Tedbald is in a position where he is still Norman. He did not take it all to the Andalou culture. He thinks this is maybe debasing yourself, you know, maybe kind of, it's one of those things where he just didn't connect to the urban elite over here in the East. It's an interesting distance there as well that he has from the core family. Man, I am actually excited. I was looking at this, just so you know why I made the decision to switch, by the way. I was looking at Rejordan II, I was saying to myself, we are so stable. There isn't really much interesting happening, and I would like to see something that, you know, is driven by the logical story, by the logical conclusion of the story so far. And, well, Tedbald right here is definitely exactly that. We might fail miserably, which point, good for Rejordan II right here. He most certainly has good intentions, but for us, he is the villain. He is not a good person. Very justifiably so, might I add. You know, I'm looking at this now. We could create a cadet branch, and I think I will be doing that right away. You create a cadet branch of your current house, and you gain some prestige. I'm going to do this. I do not want to be known as one with this house over here. What are we going to do with our sigil? Let me just check this out. Yeah. And I will also say that I think it is very adequate of him to consider creating his own cadet branch. The idea from my angle is that he wants to be as far removed. He wants to be a clearly divided and separated person from, well, the man that rules in Valence. Because he wants to establish himself, of course, as a bit of a counteracting force there. I will be changing this icon. Give me 1 second here, and obviously the name as well. My friends, and here we are. We are House Andalusie, so we want to identify with Andalusia. Most importantly, I think we want to get the backing of the local population. And I've chosen a red lion. I've chosen this red lion because it stands for bravery and strength to execute your will in battle. And most importantly, if you recall, this sigil right here was actually something that is a bit of an homage, I suppose, on the actual symbol of the historical Duke Roger, or Grand Count, I should say, Roger Boso. This, you know, yellow or golden background, and then indeed a black lion. In this case, of course, with a crown, be that as it may. But essentially, this is a historical symbol for this very Roger Boso. And this one, the red lion, was actually the symbol of none other than Robert Guiscard. Robert the Fox, or Robert the Weasel, I suppose. We are trying to reframe ourselves, both with our connection in Iberia, but also simultaneously through a historical kind of connection that our family undoubtedly has, and that was meaningful. The idea being that the cousin that we have is erring. The same way that in the past, the Red Lion, Robert Guiscard, was erring, today they are erring, and we have to correct it indeed. Alright, enough with the background though. I am excited to get going right here. I am going to try to do something here with the power sharing. Of course, he immediately swung it back, didn't he? Yeah, this is maybe not going to work. I don't really want to invest too many of our resources in there. His army isn't all too strong. He doesn't really have an ally, and he is already married to House Barcelona. Man, that is genuinely interesting. So, this is an important person, I remember. Yep, we have Prince Roger II and her. We are currently his regent, but that is really neither here nor there. We don't hate him ourselves, of course, and apparently he was swaying us, I guess. But we need to overcome him. If we want to do anything, we need to desperately overcome him. Alright, here's what we're going to do. Maybe, you know what, maybe I could move against Mallorca. Shouldn't that be an option? Oh my goodness. In that case, I don't even have to go against him. That is an interesting angle here. Comte Esteve of Leda would aid us. He's our brother-in-law because he is married to Comtessa Rachel of Leda. You know, this is a really interesting push that I think we are going to attempt. He is an ambitious man, and Mallorca has been the site of our family, man, for such a long time. Oh, just for the record, of course, the green background is a reference to the Abadid family right there. You can see this pattern right there. I am absorbing this to honor my family in that direction, and most importantly, hopefully win over the locals in this region. You know, I think I'm going to take very swift and immediate action. Mallorca will be mine. This choice is very obvious to me. Let's call in our ally, brother-in-law of House Barcelona. Barcelona and us are very deeply intertwined, which really isn't surprising, given of course that Aragon was also directly intertwined in that direction. Yeah, very interesting. Let's rush in there, and let's try to succeed despite what our cousin wants. Now, do keep in mind, we are also finding secrets here. This is the AI doing it. That is very good. I like that a lot. Okay. These are trying times. These are the times in which we need to act. Look at us flying our banner, and you know what? I will, of course. I mean, come on. I'm immediately going to go ahead and put our lion on our shield. That is what I want to see. Yeah. Give me the right colors. Give me exactly on. They're not exchanging it, huh? I do like this line a lot. This is nice. Of course I shall join you in this war. Our foes shall learn to fear the men of Leda. Indeed they shall. Very good, my friends. We are marching past Valence. He sees, of course, that we are acting. Oh, and it did change now. Let's take a look at this. Oh, I like the way this looks. Yeah, no, this is quite nice. Big fan. You're taking to the sea, and so are they. You know what, why don't you head for Mallorca right away and I shall expect them. I am going to lead my own armies, of course, I said this in the past, that is the way that I see this kind of, where we come from a warrior culture. It would be very out of character if I, oh, and they are going back, I see. If I were to not lead my troops, you know, this would be very hard, so I definitely want to get that done. Are they immediately going back to the ocean? Yeah, okay, whatever. We're just going to go ahead, we're going to land. I am not afraid of this. Oh, and you actually have allies, huh? I think she is going to leave before we arrive. Yes, she actually will. And now we get to wipe out her allies. I believe this is the new Count of Granada. An Abadid. Of course it is an Abadid, right. This is the machination of our uncle and our cousin. Man, I love looking at something that I arranged. Remember, we wanted to do this to tie our family to the Abadids. And now I am confronted with something that I set up in the past. I really like this. Obviously, we are going to crush them here. We have light horsemen, we have pikemen. Incredibly powerful. I think that is a full wipe. And I have captured him. He is an Abadid. I don't want to kill him. I do not want to kill him. No way. What I do with him, though. It is dishonorable, what he does against me. I would love a weak hook. I might secure that later. For the time being, I'm going to simply start sieging. Mallorca falling is going to signal the end of the war. We are indeed winning here. Sadly, our ally is not. Yeah, that is a bad loss, right? Do remember, by the way, of course, Mallorca was the site of epic battles, of course, already. Rey Roger himself, before he became the Rey of Valence, well, the bastard right there fought his very own wars on these islands. Man, there's so much history of ours on this island. He had also somebody escape. I really don't want him to escape. You know, I'm just worried that he's going to get away and then I can't do anything interesting there. He's a family member. And he is married to Princess Munyadona. We are pretty neutral. It could be strong to have the sister of the king, the sister of our rival in our camp one way or another. Be it by force because we have, of course, her husband. Or be it by actually coming together. I'm not so certain. Oh, man. The hatred that we must feel after literal decades of our father being mistreated, of course, of being ignored, of this crazed king, Rey Roger the Insane, ruling the realm, and immediately after we have Rey Jourdan II, basically ensuring that we will not be ruling anything in this direction. Well, of course, we can't really accept it this way. They are too small, they are not willing to come in. I probably could have won this, even without my allies, although it is good to be able to rely on the Min of Leda. 3 more months and then we win. This is our very, very first successful expedition. You know what, let me check the memories here. Is this bugged? Like, let's see what happened here. My aunt, of course, my uncle, they died. Parent has died. Is there anything interesting? My sister has died after a botched treatment. My father, William, bled, yep, to death. This is one of the first memories he actually has. And that is, of course, when we inherited that title as well. I came to Amir Ehir's defense against Amgar Tegama, the second attempted claim for Tlemcen. I think... Oh, you are actually still holding this. Okay, so I was allied to him in the past. I was released by Amgar Gildun of Ukles, so we were a prisoner indeed of the Dunanids. I do remember that, yeah. And then there goes Roger, and all of a sudden, indeed, we turn rivals. You know, oh my god, you know what? I didn't realize how recent this rivalry was. I think this rivalry stemmed specifically from when Jourdan actually went on and imprisoned Marwan Amirid and declared the war, yeah, there it is, against Marwan Amirid. When the Caliph rose up, it became clear to us that we had no place in the machinations in the realm of Rey Jourdan, and because of this, we became rivals. What a fresh rivalry, and what a good one that is, because it does effectively mean that we have a very, very clear goal. Rey Jourdan II indeed needs to go, otherwise we cannot feel safe in this realm. There is a good chance, just for the record as well, that we will fail, that we will not actually make it, but I don't even want to think of it, because what we would do to Rey Jourdan if we were successful, I mean, I know that, so I have to assume that he would do something very similar to us if we were unsuccessful. What an interesting story. I know, I want you to keep finding secrets in Valence. There has to be dirt on our cousin. We need him out of here, that much should be clear. And there goes the siege. The war's over. Mallorca will actually be ours. I get all of these titles. Oh my god. I have ousted the de Hauteville family, which, might I remind you, was put there indeed, there he is, by Roger the Insane. He put the Hautevilles there because he believed that they would have a good influence instead of putting his own flesh and blood. Look at that. Jourdan II also disappointed, mistreated by Rey Roger, much like our father. we are just taking what we wanted to take here, I think, for ourselves. We deserve this land, and, well, now we have it. Palma is ours, and I think it is only fair if I move away from this awful, awful location that we are in here, of course, in Alarcon. I will be taking the sigil actually with us. I'm gonna plaster this onto everything, because my story matters so much more compared to what used to be there before us. And now we're kind of staring at one another. Many people actually did confirm that on a good day you can see, I think, Ibiza at the very least, indeed from Valence. He should look at us. We live on these islands now, and we might actually make it back onto the mainland in due time. Very, very nice. Oh, and he wants me on the council. As Marshal. Yeah, I'll take it, sure. Sure, why not? Let's increase, yeah, he's pretty good. Damn, that is such a long time. Let's increase control here. Of course, Mallorca isn't all that great right now. Why am I losing so much money? You are... I gotta station all of you. Obviously, I have a lot of troops actually waiting. Oh, is that because I think I had all these troops already, right? I think I may have taken over the troops of the Duchess of Mallorca. Just taking into account, indeed, that... I don't think I had light footmen, actually, now that I'm looking at this. Alright, well, anyway... We are in a much, much stronger position. That is surprising to me, I'm not going to lie. I do still have Comte Ilya. He's an Abadit. Can I possibly get a weak hook out of you? Then I will ransom you. I will ransom you at the very least. It is a normal, noble thing to do. I don't think we are necessarily disrespecting here our own family, but he is, of course, assisting us quite significantly in the struggles to come. And now that we are actually a duke, maybe I can find somebody worthwhile who would be interested in overthrowing our enemies. The Almoravids. I mean, that would be significant. Sadly, of course, the Almohads actually failed. I made them a conqueror and yada yada yada, but they are just not well equipped enough to destroy an administrative realm. That is okay. He currently dislikes us because Catholicism is evil. If I were to come out as a Mubaladi right now, is it the right time? That is the big question. I don't know. Is it the right time? I do have a claim on Valence and on Murcia. Do I want to push against Prince Roger? Our affection for him isn't really natural, right? It's he has swayed us 2 times very proactively, and then the friendly. Technically, we are negative, but he worked hard for that. I think there's a good chance that we might want to counteract everything that he stands for. My reasoning for this is effectively, if you really think about it, right? If you kind of take a look at this, that he is the brother of our enemy. If we take him down, well, then our brother most certainly can't be all too happy with the world anymore, right? Ah, that's such an interesting... We have so much to do here. But I think we are going to bide our time, at least for some time. We're 26 years old. We have a grand future right here. I don't want to rock the boat too much. Deuce Tedbald knows where that will lead. Prince William appealed in a moment of weakness to his father, to his brother, and it never worked out. In the end, he was tortured for his weakness. We cannot let that happen to us. This is one of those things. Oh, and mythical ancestors. Okay, grants access to the ancestral claim Casus Belli on any claims gained through a legitimizing legend. The interesting thing about this is for sure that when something happened that was massive, that changed the trajectory of a family, they would study that a whole lot. They would consider this a whole lot, and well, this is one of those stories, for example, where Brandenburg, so the House of Hohenzollern, of course, they were neutral largely during the 30 Years' War, and they still got sacked and raided and destroyed. And the moral of the story for them was being neutral is going to get you the same result as being the loser of a conflict, so you might as well participate. Let me check here. Do we maybe have any activity that I would like to host? We could surely do something. I would love to gain an ally. It's just really we don't have anything that takes us into that direction. Is it time? Man, I need your input. I am dead serious. Is it time to come out as Muvaladi? That is question 1. Let me know in the... we're not going to do a full poll for this because I want to have the next video up relatively quickly. I'm talking about Friday. If you are a channel member, then you're going to get this today on Wednesday. And then on Friday, the next video. So we're going to do this just via comments. Is it time to come out as Muvaladi? Deuce Tedbald is in a very powerful position very quickly. It was a masterful stroke not to bother with Murcia, but rather to go for Mallorca. It also gives him safety, of course. This right here is right next to Valencia. It is a very dangerous location. I think he is fully aware of this. He's quite safe now. He could come out as Muvaladi. He could try to press that in favor of the Almoravids. Maybe get an alliance by marrying Salama. Obviously, currently this is not feasible. I think this might be feasible the moment that I go Muvaladi. I really do. We could try to facilitate that, which is an incredible alliance and an incredible betrayal of the rest of our family, might I add. Or we could alternatively try to maybe go for Galicia or Castile, intervene essentially in their wars up there. And the second question is, should I be going against Prince Roger II? So this is a Mozarabic man, Andalou. He has done a lot of work to showcase to us that he is not a part of the machinery, or at the very least doesn't really harbor any ill will against us, but fundamentally he is the brother of our enemy. The more we can harm our cousin, I think the better will it be, so I'm kind of thinking maybe we should. What else is going on in the world? I'm seeing a grand holy war apparently for the Kingdom of Syria. Wow, it's the HRE doing it, and he is attacking for just a county. That's not that important. Wait a minute. Are you actually going for Syria? Wait, oh my god, right. You are a tributary of the Cumans. I see what's going on there. Man, there's a lot of war going on. Even you are attacking. Yep, for a duchy right there. The Vasilea Romayon trying to reclaim things. I was thinking for a while, by the way, whether Tedbald might want to go back to Sicily. And then I saw the opportunity with Mallorca. It really brought us back there. You are going, yeah, for that. That's actually crazy. Alright, well, it's none of our concern. We are seeing our enemy. His castle, his formidable city across the water. We will shut them down. I know we will. My friends, I'm going to leave you right here as we are looking at this family going through it once more, which seems to be tradition. They are a warrior class. They are a family that knows how to conquer, and yet governance always looks rather difficult when it actually takes place. I am looking forward to getting this done even further and to seeing this chapter play out. Folks, I will see you later. Alligator.